So Shawn, tell us a little about yourself.
Well, as you mentioned, I'm Shawn Davis, and I was brought onto this project. I was referred to the director, Scott, by Brent, who was the gaffer on this job, Brent Bailey. And flew in from LA, and I was very happy that I was able to work on this project. It was a great deal.
And how was this experience? Because you're normally a commercial guy. How was this? I'm sure it was a lot different, but what you used to.
It was actually very different. I'm used to a more hit and run. I would say this was fast paced. I thought that would be one of the differences, but actually we were pretty fast paced on this one. We were moving around, had a lot to get in the can in 11 days. But I'm used to 2 or 3 days in and out and on to the next one and on to the next crew. But this is what I've heard. You get to bond as a unit, and hopefully you like everybody because you're going to work with them so many days. And on this one, it actually worked out in that case because everybody was great from the top to the bottom. Everybody was great.
So you've worked with some of this crew before. How did that go?
Well, actually, Brent is the only gentleman that the gaffer I mentioned. He's the only guy that I've worked with before. He actually came out to LA for a little while, and we worked together out there. And some of these other guys I had heard about, but met them on this project, and I'm sure I'm going to work with most of them again. I'm sure.
And what about the kids and the cast? What was that like?
Oh man, I mean, first of all, talent, is the first thing that comes to mind. Just a bunch of talented kids, and of course I say that, having worked with some of the most talented kids on TV, most of the Disney kids and others. So, but we had some very talented characters here, and they all had, they were all really into it and really pouring their hearts into it. We put in some, long hours as much as we could with kids, and they were all troopers, and they all brought their A game.
So how do you think, this being an indie film, how do you think it's going to differ, maybe stand out from other indie films being filmed today?
Well, it was an indie film, but I believe it's going to stand out just from a quality standpoint. I mean, again, I was just talking about the actors. And when you think of indie film, you think of, C-list actors and maybe even newcomers. And some of these actors were newcomers, but just our director did a great job of working with them and having them prepared and driving them to bring out the best in them. And they definitely brought it. And again, I look forward to seeing most all of them on the silver screen.
So, was your experience coming here, was it totally different than what you expected, or pretty much?
It was. I guess I didn't know if we were going to, I didn't expect to create the body of work that we created from a quality standpoint. I mean, really, I think when we see this film together, I don't think the crew that made it will be surprised because we saw it happening day after day and night after night, but I think the audience will think that, $20 million was put into this film, and I think from that standpoint, I never expected it in my wildest dreams. I was hoping I would connect with the crew and the cast, but I just never thought we'd be able to put a masterpiece like this together.
And your experience with working with director-writer Scott Loy?
You know what? I learned so much from Scott, over the last, 11 or 12 days that I've been around him. And, he's an awesome director. He's a motivator. He's been around, and he taught us a lot. I mean, he can pretty much. He's got his, he had his head wrapped around it. He knew exactly what he wanted, and that's not always, the case. And I think in this case, he brought out the best in the crew, and he led us exactly where I think he wanted us to be on this film.
And as far as just the storyline and the
great story. It was very awesome seeing it all come together, and I think it'll be. I think it's just gonna captivate the audience with the faces that they're gonna see on the screen, and the passion that's brought that's put into these characters from these kids, and just from that's again just the quality and the body of work. I just think we're all going to be very satisfied with what we see in Moonring.
So Scott's actually written probably 6, 7 of these books in a series, and he's really enjoyed working with you. So when he gives you a phone call and says we're ready to number 2, are you there?
Whenever he calls, the answer is yes.
Okay, well, Mr. Shawn Davis, as the director, we're so happy to have you.
All right, and I enjoyed being on this project. Moonring is going to be a great picture, and you all should go out and see it. I'll be there.